on this edition of The Wretched Ranch, the most long-winded person I have ever seen. And yes, this does get better after we move past him. This car has bumpers and lights, and it has marker lights and blinkers. Tell them all about these great headlights.
Point out the standard tungsten halogen high beam headlamps and tell them how they really light up the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I give you the 1985 Oldsmobile Calais. Shift them gears, baby. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe.
The sporty new Calais Coupe offers Oldsmobile salespeople an exciting opportunity for plus sales in 1985. Before you begin to present the features and benefits of Calais, arouse your prospect's interest by pointing out that this car was not built on a traditional assembly line. Relate that stopping the line is expected if needed in order to assure quality, and that the team's building components take pride in and responsibility for the quality of the components they assemble. Then, after you've explained these things, introduce Calais as the car which has revolutionized the way cars are built in America. Start the feature benefit presentation, but don't discuss price at this time. But impress your prospect with the extensive list of standard and optional equipment. Read through the list of standard equipment: side window defoggers, headlamps on warning, a full-length shifting console, contoured bucket reclining seats, trip odometer, power brakes, steel-belted radial ply all-season tires, and moldings. If the Calais you are presenting is so equipped, you can also point out an impressive list of options like the 6-way adjustable power seat, power door locks and window controls, the pulse wiper system, auto calculator, tilt steering and Delco Bose sound system. And about mid-year, you can add Calais liquid crystal electronic instrument cluster to this impressive list. This is also a good time to make a mental note of the EPA mileage rating for your presentation of the engine during Step 2. Also explain that the new EPA mileage ratings effective for 1985 models are lower to better reflect the driver's probable mileage. Invite your prospect to the front of the car. At the front of the car, pause and admire the styling. Let your customers know that you like this car. Point out that the sloping upper and lower fascias are made of supple plastic, which resists permanent damage from minor impacts. Indicate how the aerodynamic styling of the air dam allows the line of the wraparound bumper to flow up into the grille and fenders with no unnecessary traps to increase wind resistance. And show them the turn indicator and parking lamps integrated into the bumper with its protective rub strips. Then point out the standard tungsten halogen high beam headlamps and tell them how they really light up the road. Next, lift the hood and move out of the way as you invite your prospect to look at the engine compartment. Point out that attention to details like the clearly identified and readable service items, the maintenance-free battery, and the visible fluid level reservoirs, all examples of the kind of attention to detail of design and build found throughout Calais. Now, if the engine is the standard 2.5-liter L4, talk about its good performance and EPA economy ratings. If it's a 3-liter V6, and your prospect wants performance, point out the absence of a carburetor and explain that the engine operates by fuel injection controlled by an onboard computer, the computer command control, for efficient, responsive acceleration. Tell your prospect that the engine features high-energy electronic ignition, which provides an efficient hot spark for dependable starting and has no points to be replaced. Answer any questions your prospect might have at this point. Then, close the hood and move around to the right front wheel. Now you can concentrate the customer's attention where front-wheel drive has its effect, right at the front wheel. Explain that all of Calais' engine weight is over the driving wheel, increasing the traction in snow, mud, and on slippery pavement. You might also point out that the driving wheels pull rather than push the car through turns. Then point out that Calais has McPherson strut front suspension to smooth the ride. That suspension, coupled with Calais' rack and pinion steering, reduces sway in turns, and gives the driver a good feel of the road. Here's where you can point out that Calais features low-drag front disc brakes, which reduce fuel-wasting friction. These brakes are part of a diagonal split braking system. Point out that Calais features standard steel belt radial tires with an all-season tread, and that the tires are match-mounted to the wheels for a smoother ride. Now, invite your prospect to step back and get an overall view of Calais. First, talk about Calais styling. Point out its aerodynamic design features, the swept-back flush-mounted windshield, the rounded contours, all of which combine to produce a very low drag coefficient. Next, explain the multi-coat high-gloss enamel finish process and highlight its beauty. Then, invite them to have a closer look at some details. Let your prospect feel the surface of the chip-resistant urethane coating used on Calais' lower body panel, and explain that it replaces the rather rough plastisol coating formerly used for this type of protection. Indicate that the patch rear outside mirror is aerodynamically designed to cut wind noise and reduce drag. A small item, but typical of the attention to detail in Calais' construction. Invite your prospects to examine the fit of the joint between the door and the frame. Point out the absence of an exterior drip molding to cause wind noise. Then, open the door and show the drip molding inside the door and the finished look of quality construction and workmanship at the door edge and the body. Now, this is a good time to demonstrate Calais' easy entry seat. Show your prospects how the seat slides forward when the back is tilted forward to give passengers entering the rear seat plenty of room for easy access. Then invite your customers to close the door gently, using just 2 fingers. During this demonstration, explain that each entire side of Calais is welded as a single unit by robot welders under computer control. Tell them that door frames are then electronically scanned and measured, and that each door is then robotically assembled to match those precise measurements. Show your prospect that the rear quarter window is also flush-mounted for better aerodynamics and less wind noise. Explain that the window is precisely installed by robots as a unit, frame, molding, and glass, for a better fit. Point out that the window has a one-piece molding and that wherever possible on Calais, moldings are single units instead of pieced-together assemblies. Fewer pieces mean a better fit. At the rear window, point out that it too is aerodynamically flush-mounted with one-piece molding. Inside the trunk, show how the newly designed hinges lift the lid up and out of the way. Indicate that the floor is flat because there's no differential hump with front-wheel drive. And show prospects the space-saving compact spare tire and the carpeted floor and how much real usable space Calais has to offer. When you've done that, point out the adjustable deck lid balancing mechanism and tell your prospect how a ski or luggage rack can be added to the deck lid and its weight compensated for by the adjustment. To demonstrate, have the prospect close the trunk, again using just 2 fingers on the lid. You'll make your point. Again, use this opportunity as another example of precision high-tech construction. When the lid is down, point out the excellent fit at the line between the deck lid and the quarter panels. Then step back to admire the rear styling. As in front, the fascias are body-colored rim material, so minor impact will not cause permanent damage. Point out the continuation of aerodynamic design in the rear wraparound bumpers with their integrated parking and turn signal lamps. Then invite your prospect to get behind the wheel of Calais. After explaining the styling of the close contour bucket seats with lateral and lumbar support, have your prospect sit down and get comfortable. Point out the legroom in Calais, brought about in part by the transverse mounted engine. If the car is equipped with a 6-way power control seat, demonstrate the use of the controls. Once comfortable, have the prospect look around at Calais' interior and point out styling details like the carpeting carried up the doors to the armrests. Explain that headliner, doors, and carpeting are acoustically padded. Indicate the standard header-mounted courtesy lamp or optional reading lamps, and the open compartment for handy storage of sunglasses or a garage door opener. Then call attention to how the grouping of the instrument panel cluster is easily visible. Mention the standard trip odometer, the side window defoggers, and the pod-mounted switches for fingertip control. Demonstrate how all of the basic driving controls are within comfortable and easy reach of the wheel. And enumerate the controls on the multi-function lever and their uses. Show how easy it is to gain access to the instrument panel mounted fuse block if necessary. And be sure to point out the storage armrest and the full-length operational console. Mention the styling of the console as an integrated extension of the instrument panel. Explain that other features like electronic cruise control, four-season climate control, or the real performance, handling, and ride characteristics of this Calais can only be appreciated in a demonstration ride. Invite them to take the demonstration ride. Then, when they've accepted, usher them to the video disc player and cue up the Consumer Calais segment while you arranged for the demonstrator. Now, the purpose of the Consumer Video Disc program is to prepare your prospects for the demonstration drive, to help them anticipate what you'll be demonstrating by showing them what you could only mention before. The revolutionary manufacturing processes used to build Calais, the use of robotics, the team build concept, how the under-the-skin features like suspensions, fuel injection, low drag disc brakes actually function to give Calais its performance and handling characteristics. And of course, the ways that Calais is protected against corrosion. It's a very important step, designed to help give an even more professional and effective presentation and close more sales.
Now that you're going to test drive one of these exciting new 1985 Calais, I'd like to take a few minutes to show you some of the quality features we build into Calais and give you some tips on what to look for when you take your test drive. I can tell you one thing, you're in for a treat. You'll be driving a car that was built in a way cars have never been built before. Calais is built at one of the most advanced automotive plants in the world. Here, parts to be assembled come to a team of workers at a set location. Ergonomics, the science of adapting an environment to suit human need, played a large part in designing each workstation. And the people who worked there had a say in its design as well. They've been thoroughly trained in problem-solving techniques, as well as the team-building skills necessary to do their jobs. These people are proud of the work they're doing, and they meet regularly to discuss quality or production achievements or ways to improve efficiency.
Quality in processes, quality in parts, quality in design, and by all means, quality in people.
And when they speak, management listens. In fact, if there's a key to the quality of Calais, it's the complete cooperation of managers and workers with one goal in mind: to build one of the best cars in the world. Calais assembly processes are a radical departure from traditional automobile manufacturing. This is an automatic guided vehicle bringing an engine to be installed on new Calais. These vehicles carry a variety of parts throughout the plant to their proper assembly stations. Here's ergonomics at work. The heavy torque wrench is computer-controlled and supported by an articulated arm. The worker supplies the skill not from muscle-weary arms, but from hands with relaxed dexterity. Before any Calais leaves the plant, it's computer-tested under simulated driving conditions. Calais has an onboard computer. The factory's computer is plugged directly into the car's computer to get exact measurements of Calais' performance for emissions, proper acceleration, exact shifting, and even proper wheel alignment. If the right numbers don't show, the car doesn't go. We say there's a special feel in an Oldsmobile. Part of that feel in the semi. When you take your test drive, Notice how the bumps in the road are absorbed by front and rear wheel suspensions for riding comfort. Calais' standard power rack and pinion steering also adds to that special feel. As you test drive Calais, you'll be able to experience the ease of handling with rack and pinion steering. Calais also features a diagonal split braking system. Diagonally opposite front and rear wheel brakes operate in pairs from a dual master cylinder. Calais features low drag power disc brakes on its front wheels. Special caliper seals on the system move the brake pads away from the rotor when the brakes are released. This means less disc wear and less friction. You can translate less friction into added fuel efficiency. During your test drive, be sure to check out the smooth action of Calais' quality power braking system. Those are some of the features which contribute to the quality of Calais' ride and handling. There are other features which go even deeper into making this automobile a leader in its class. Calais was designed with the aid of computers. This means that weight, balance, and space ratios involving hundreds of thousands of calculations were considered and established to make sure the design was right long before a prototype was built. Those calculations are translated into the manufacturing process by computer as well. If you are like others who have seen Calais, you probably were impressed by the world-class fit of the parts. That's because of the computer-controlled process called statistical process control. Out in the plant, a scanner tracks the fit of one part to another and feeds that information into a computer. If the fit begins to deviate from dead center, the computer immediately signals for proper adjustment. These hoods, like most body parts, are stamped into shape with dies. The condition of the die determines the condition of the part. Regular maintenance of dies is crucial to part quality. Calais' dies are changed for maintenance every day. This was made possible by a die cycle change process developed by the hourly and salaried workers. A die change which used to take 8 hours is now accomplished in less than 1 hour. This is where those high-quality die-formed body parts come for assembly. It's called a robogate. Each part to be welded is fitted precisely in place and automatically clamped for welding. If the fit is not exactly to specifications, the robots will be unable to function. With every part in place, the computers tell these robot welders exactly where to make their welds. The welds are made in the same place to the same quality standards every time. In the unlikely event of a problem fit, the ultimate checking device is a body cube. The body cube is a mathematically perfect Calais body. Production parts may be interchanged with body cube parts and checked with a Zeiss scanner. The scanner will spot any deviation in the part and provide the data to prevent a recurrence. Since you're going to drive one of these fine cars, you'll want to know something about the available engines. Let's take a look. The standard engine is this 2.5-liter L4 with electronic fuel injection. Electronic fuel injection works through the onboard computer command control like this. The computer senses the right amount of fuel needed for efficient operation under driving conditions for that moment, and that precise amount is ejected as an atomized mist at a single point in the throttle body. This system replaces the upper 2/3 of the old carburetor. On the all-new optional 3-liter V6 engine, the system is called multi-port fuel injection. The same precise sensing and metering takes place, but fuel is injected directly into each cylinder. Both systems help to prevent fuel waste through over-rich fuel-air mixtures and help provide the drivability and performance you expect from an Oldsmobile. When quality is built into Calais, it's built to last. And we want the quality appearance of the car to endure as well. That's why we take special steps to fight corrosion. The first step is an extensive use of galvanized and zinc phosphate-coated sheet metal for those areas of the body which are most subject to attack by corrosive elements, like highway salt in winter. The next step is a complete immersion of the entire body in an electrostatic rust-fighting primer bath. An electrical current passes through the bath to help assure complete adhesion of the primer to all surfaces. Finally, the beauty and luster of the Calais finish is achieved in a two-step process called multi-coat high gloss. The result is a finish you can see into, a finish that proclaims the quality of Calais. Another example of attention to detail in the building of Calais. Calais, a new car built a whole new way. The same Calais you're about to test drive. Hope you enjoy the ride.
All right. That was a pretty good video. I mean, that was a state-of-the-art factory. That's pretty cool, actually. I don't even have nothing silly to say. Thanks for watching.